My name is Steve Goose. I'm the director of the Arms Division at Human Rights Watch, and I am the editor for the banned policy sections of the Landmine Monitor report. There are now 156 states parties to the Mine Ban Treaty. An additional 2 countries have signed but not yet ratified. That is the Marshall Islands and Poland, who have been signatories for a long time but have not taken the step to legally bind themselves. There are 39 states that remain outside of the convention. Most disturbingly, 2008 was the first year since the treaty came into force that no additional countries joined. It's a situation that we have to remedy, as we need to get all 39 of the holdouts on board this convention. Landmine Monitor still counts 13 countries who produce or who retain the right to produce. In fact, we think that very few, perhaps only a couple, are actively producing anti-personnel mines. The rest simply refuse to give up their right to do so in the future. In the big picture, this is quite a success story, as before the treaty came into being, there were more than 50 countries that produced millions and millions of mines each year. We're now down to just a trickle being produced by a very small number of countries. The Mine Ban Treaty is a comprehensive approach to eradicating the weapon. It has disarmament elements, that is, no state is allowed to use in any circumstance the weapon. It can't produce, it can't export, it can't import, and it has to destroy its stockpiles within a firm deadline of 4 years. States must also get the mines out of the ground within 10 years, and they must assist the survivors of the weapon. Stockpile destruction in general has been a huge success under the Mine Ban Treaty. There's only a handful of states parties who've not yet met this treaty obligation to destroy all of their stockpiles. More than 42 million anti-personnel mines have been destroyed from the stockpiles of states parties. Anti-personnel mines that will never be laid, that will never take a new victim. However, over the course of the past year, we've had a highly disturbing development where 3 high-profile states parties with very large numbers of stocks did not meet their 4-year deadline for destruction. Belarus and Greece and Turkey were all supposed to have finished their stockpile destruction by March of 2008. Combined, they have more than 7 million anti-personnel mines in their stocks. They still have not completed a year later. They are in violation of the convention, and we are pressing them to complete that obligation as soon as possible. None of them are doing this in ill will. They simply did not get started early enough, and in the case of Belarus, did not receive enough external assistance to make it happen. 10 years into the existence of the Mine Ban Treaty, it's clear that the stigma on the weapon has taken hold. Not only states parties, but even those who have stayed outside of the treaty formally are feeling its power. That is most evident in the fact that almost no one is using this weapon anymore. In recent years, we have only seen 2 governments who have been willing to use anti-personnel mines, that being Burma or Myanmar and Russia, and Burma being the only one who's used them in any significant numbers. That's an extraordinary achievement that even though 39 states are outside of the Mine Ban Treaty, only 1 or 2 are still using the weapon on anything approaching a significant scale. In addition to that, we see that rebel groups, non-state armed groups, have continued to use the weapon, although, again, in decreasing scale. One would mostly point to FARC in Colombia and to a variety of non-state armed groups in Burma as rebel groups that are using this weapon most extensively.